Good morning, everyone. How are you? Today I want to talk to you about laws about kidnapping, aggravated kidnapping, and forcing an underage child to have sex with an adult with a fake ID. All these are felonies, possibly connected to long prison terms and maybe even the death penalty if you kill someone during the process of these acts, right? Now, in Georgia, they have the death penalty. Not other states. Florida does. Certain states do. Well, in Georgia, they have the death penalty, assholes. Now, if you bring an underage girl under the age of 16 in my house, who's guilty, me or you, with a fake ID? You. Now, like I told you, I got cameras I'm not going to tell you are in my house. I don't have to legally. Once the girl is in my house, we can do anything because you brought her to safety for a little while. And I can even simulate sex with her and not have sex with her at all, and all she has to do to not be a virgin is finger herself, and then she's not a virgin. Now, if she's afraid you'll rape her or something too, in the process of this, whether we have sex or not, you're forcing us both into that situation. I did not kidnap her and bring her to me. I'm in my house. Though I give out my address, she has to get here on her own and she's underage. Meaning you would have to let her drive or walk up here, right? Either way, you're forcing the child to come to my house because you know where I live. She don't know where I live. You do. That's called aggravated kidnapping, rape of a child, where you are endangering her life and by forcing me or her to be together, right? And mine too, because if I tell you all this and I don't remember it, you assaulted me with a deadly weapon, right? In an attempt to knock me out and keep me silent. That's also attempted murder. And again, whether I have the tapes or not, I ain't gotta play the video portion, just the audio portion, alright, in court, alright? And all I got to prove is I was not trying to be with the child, right? In court. That you forced her to come to me and you kidnapped the child. And you knew she was underage and provide her with false ID. Now, you can't check the ID of the state unless you're an official law enforcement agent. And I'm just disabled military with an indefinite ID, right? That's what INDEF stands for on my military card, right? That means I can take a blow to the head, but you're attempting that by repeatedly, as I get older, doing it to me too. You could still kill me, right? That's the point, right? But I'm tough enough and my faith in God is strong enough, like with Rasputin's, to withstand your blows. Say it's Russia or something, hypothetically, or China or something like that, alright? Well, the younger the girls are, the more in danger you are, so they got to be at least older than 14. That was the old Georgia law, right? You might could say in court, I didn't know the law had changed or something. But again, I'll tell the girl that too, I know. Now, if you hurt her, while kidnapping or murder her, that is a capital punishment by the death penalty too. So that's me trying to protect the girl from them, no matter what we do, whether we do it or not. Now, if the girl gets pregnant, we have what? The VA and Navy have my DNA and my sperm count and things like that. Yeah, they could compare it, but you also might could steal it, right? And force the girl to have my child, right? They don't know. They don't know. Now, this is all supposed to be a delusional rant from someone that's paranoid schizophrenic anyway. Paranoid, but not sure if he was attacked. Because see, I ain't got to play any tapes either, but maybe I'm recording too, maybe I'm not. But if you're knocking me out and I'm remembering it, the same thing applies, right? I'm piecing it together from you knocking me out. But if you harm the girl while you have her in your possession, and I remember some details enough to let them know you have a female with you, and tried to force us to have sex. And someone turns up dead on the side of the road, and it's a female body, and they do a deep, thorough DNA test and found out one of my sperms was in her or something. Because of course, if we have sex or not, I need to make her shower to make you think I did, even if I didn't. See, my job isn't to make it easier for you to prosecute me, is to make sure you're prosecuted for kidnapping the girl in the first place. Now, that's what I'm trying to tell the law. If this is happening to me, like I'm thinking it is, I'm not sure, I know. But I know how to deal with the situation to stop them from doing it, hopefully, in the future, right? By using our real laws against them, which they've heard rumors of them, but they don't know. And then I tell them, well, look it up in Georgia, right? And what it says about kidnapping, killing someone while they're in your possession and things like that, and what they'll do for you. Now, that will also make the girl side with me whether we have sex or not. See, I'm trying to protect her, right? As best I can. Whether we do it or not, they sent her there with the intentions of forcing us both into a sex act, right? Even though I'm older, I was not seeking the girl because I'm just not dating right now, period. I can't find a girlfriend over the age of 16 to begin with, so I'm looking for one more 19 or 21, right? I can do that, right? I can even do 18 here, but for my comfort's sakes, I want a 19 or 21-year-old, right? Now, of course, Georgia law says I can be with any girl 17 or older, can move in with me even, and we live together with no qualms, right? Even though I'm 47. Now, yeah, a lot of people will look down upon it because of our age difference, but again, I'm not tempting the girl. You're sending her to me, right? So who's breaking the law? You are. You're kidnapping, aggravating, assaulting her, conditioning her to be with me before you bring her to me, and then hurting her and forcing us to have sex, right? To where I'm not sure what I should do in it. And like I said, I'm covering my butt and the girl's butt, but not yours. So, no matter what we do, right? Whether we have sex or not. Now, to find one sperm in there with no forced sex means some part of it was consensual, right? Even if the girl's underage with fake ID, right? Now, if she has a fake ID, I'm, again, asking her certain questions during the time we're possibly together, right? Now, since it's not charged, I have to say allegedly, possibly, things of that nature, too. This is a delusion I'm having, hopefully not real, right? I'm just talking about what it means legally in Georgia to do all this, right? That's all. Hypothetically. Now, of course, if I'm blacking out, that still don't prove anything happened. You can use a knockout gas or nerve agent or whatever to temporarily render me unconscious and I wake up dizzy, right? Now, this is probably police, a foreign entity, not a national one, or Thomas even, but if Thomas is unknowingly helping someone and turning off his cameras periodically, it don't mean he knows who they are either. But again, it goes to credibility if he is turning off his cameras during certain times of the day and is supposed to be home or off, away from the house himself. Now, when does a person turn on the camera? Every time they go off, right? And you have the security cameras. So if they come by after this time to the time of 4 p.m. when he's normally home or somewhere around there, all right, and he goes off all day, his cameras should be running, and if it happens during the daytime, he's in on it too, the kidnapping and the girl, all right? Possibly. That's what I'm saying there, all right? Not me, not here. I'm the last hurdle the girl has to make it through. And trust me, if I do something with her, you only hear her giggling or laughing or smiling, right? I won't hurt her at all, right? And I can do certain areas and do that anyway. Her belly button, for example, not her vagina, right? Her belly button isn't sex with her, right? but her vagina is. You can blow on a girl's belly button, they'll laugh, right? Things like that, right? You can go, and that'll make them laugh. You can also tickle them, things like that, right? But not have sex with them, right? See, this is just a fantasy type probability, not real, right? Unless I'm really doing the audio, right? Or the video, right? But I'll only do it in my living room, not in my bedroom either. So, of course, I invite the girl into the bedroom, right? Now, this is not a memory. This is what? A hypothesis based upon me being knocked out and everything that's going on with me on YouTube, too, right? Doesn't prove anything, right? It's lukewarm. It's not provable in court, right? As long as you can't prove it and you don't harm the girl while she's in your possession and you let her go back home too, and you're fine, right? And you tell her not to talk about it and she don't, you're fine. So is she. So is she. Whether we have sex or not, right? And that's the point. That's ambiguous nature of the law, right? It both protects you if you're both the victim and forced to be together too. But the first law of any child kidnapping is, how old is the child? Is it aggravated kidnapping? And are you trying to force the child during the kidnapping to commit a crime, right? Which, having sex with an adult is a crime for you and her, and not just your intended target, right? Because you kidnapped her and are forcing her to do it, right? Right. Well, that forces the person to be confused themselves and have to ask the girl certain questions. And trust me, I would ask the girl, how old are you? Is this a fake ID? And she can say yes or no, but if she's lying, I don't know. I don't know. And if she has sex with me anyway, I don't know. I don't know. And I would also shower with her and things like that, and all the DNA evidence would be in the drain, right? And there's no proof I didn't masturbate in the bathtub either. All I have to do is take a shower first and then her, right? And there's no proof who did what, right? And of course, if we have two showers, right? Whether my hair is matted or not, because all you got to do is rub water over it, right? In the back. And things like that, right? Now, this is just a hypothetical delusion that I'm paranoid about is happening to me. It's not provable unless what? You or the girl come forward. Well, if you're doing all this to the girl, she's going to be afraid to come forward because of you, though, not me, right? So there's no proof anything happened, even if the girl was to turn up pregnant of who she was with, right? Or hypothetically things like that. Or if she don't, right? Hypothetically or things like that. It depends on when you're doing it during the month, too, whether she can get pregnant or not. Some girls ovulate at the end of the month. This is more the middle, right? So they might get pregnant there, too, right? But usually, it's the middle, beginning, or, you know, the end will be the same, right? So there's 2 times a month normally a girl will ovulate, and usually it's after her period, right? If you bring them within 8 days to 9 days after the period, they might get pregnant. But if they do and you release them, they can just say it was their boyfriend or something like that. I don't know. A lot of girls these days are having sex, right, at an early age. And that's why I'm trying to warn Thomas, too, is he's in on that. And they're kidnapping the girls. And he knows they're doing something wrong and asking him to turn off his cameras at a certain time. He's part of the pedophilia, too, right? Because he's letting them do what they want to do to me illegally, right? Now, the only one who may or may not have cameras is me, too, but, you know, I do. I've got one here. I can start recording from the time the girl comes in and turn it off and even delete it from the file. That doesn't permanently delete it, though, either. It's still on the, you know, the recording, the camera, right? The computer itself. But if I delete it when I get back in the house, it's harder to prove, right? But not impossible. If what? Right? They suspect something is going on, right? Now, nothing is really proven yet either. I've just been blocking out maybe from stress or my head trauma or my schizophrenia a little bit, but not doing anything dangerous. I might, find my keys not in the place I left them, but maybe during that too, I put them there mistakenly, but in a blacking out state, but didn't really do anything dangerous to myself or others either. That's a gray line too. And that's the point about my keys being moved from the last place I left them, that I remember before realizing when I went back to the same place, they were missing, right, from that place, right? Now, that's the point there, too, about amnesia, how long it can last. Can you do things in an amnesic state? Yes. I was in the hospital for 2 days and 2 weeks for the 3-story fall before I started getting out of the bed, right? And I'm sure I was blacked out most of the time in the hospital and things like that. But when I came to, I started living daily. Now, if I just moved my keys around a little bit, that's no big deal, right? That's not hurting anyone. Even if I just maybe for some reason opened my cable box. Who knows what I did during that time, up to 44 minutes, but I didn't obviously leave my house. I was just doing chores or something as sort of a memory type deal, right? If for some reason I blacked out or lost consciousness for a short time, say less than an hour, right? I was back inside, right? Now, if they assault me during this time to knock me out, it is assault with a deadly weapon and attempted murder, right? Which will be added to the charge of aggravated kidnapping of an underage girl, right? Because they're kidnapping her, programming her to be with me, and not giving her a choice. And that makes me feel like I don't have a choice either, but to maybe be with her, right? Though, of course, I will get her permission, on camera. And that she's saying yes to me and no to them because, she's afraid they might rape her one way or the other themselves, right? Even if they assure her they won't, they could be lying about that too, right? If we don't have sex. And that's what the girl might be thinking, and me too, right? That's why I would get her confession that they kidnapped her on video and then delete the video too, because the police can find all that with modern day technologies. And that, again, is to scare them from doing this anymore. Now, of course, if I'm aware of my blackouts, I can take my medication. But if my medication is causing me to swerve off the road or things like that, it's part of the problem too, right? So again, I'm just sort of blacking out, period, whether I'm on the medications or not, which I took it yesterday, and a couple times I went into the grass, right, when driving up to Charleston, right? But I didn't wreck or anything, but luckily I was very sleepy, like I told Dr. Scholler when I take that medication, right? And I just took one tablet, Dr. Scholler. That's the problem there, all right? Now, it's either the medication causes me to black out or fall asleep temporary and move my stuff around or something like that, right? Now, I take it off and on mainly when I go to sleep, right? Don't mean I don't forget to take it, but I always take my high blood pressure medication every day. And I always take my pain medication various throughout the day, right? That's the point there, right? And like I told them, all you have to do to mat your hair is wet your hair. And it will look like I was either exercising, though I haven't been out the house, or exercising in the house or something. I got exercise equipment in the house. I ain't got to record everything I do in the house, right? Either to prove anything to you. Sweat or water can mat your hair after a shower, right? There's no proof I had a shower or didn't have one. And just sitting in the house, if it's hot in summertime, you can start sweating too, right? It don't mean you're dirty yet either. It's just hot and sweaty in your house, and you only have on fans, right? Now, that again is to save my electric bill right now for the month. Because I tried running the AC again, and my bill went up a little bit this month. So again, I'm just trying to get it back down because it's warmer in this October than, say, in 100 years, right? Around 2019-20, the temperature was 91 degrees, right? But that's not unusual. Again, weather patterns change, right? Now, I can't prove global warming, nor can I say it's not happening. But it's not happening at a rapid scale like they're insinuating either. Say maybe in the next, 75 years, we might have some problems with New York, right? Or border towns that border the ocean, right? If we don't stop it now. That's what war means, right? It don't prove anything to Mr. Trump because he's looking for an immediate response. Well, things like that take time. Do you think Brazil and the Amazon, though it's on the equator, was always that hot? No, if the Earth is moving towards the sun or away from it, it would get hotter or colder. That's another factor for global warming. Is the Earth itself rotating closer to the sun or away from the sun, right? If it's rotating closer to the sun, what does that mean? The planet is going to get hotter, right? Ice caps are going to start melting slowly and things like that. That happened during the Ice Age and things like that, right? That's what I mean to Mr. Gore. There's another reason besides our chemicals and things like that in our factories that could be causing global warming, including that our planet is getting closer to the sun. A little bit. Even an millimeter or two in the right direction or the wrong direction, depending on how you look at it, can make the Earth get hot. If we start leaving what's called the Goldilocks range of the separation from the sun to the Earth, right, it can start warming up then too, or cooling off, right? Scientists, and that's the point too. We're all human beings. We're all trying to figure out the truth from all the people in the religious sector up to Moses and people after Moses too, right? We're all trying to figure out what's going on with us in some way or another. Now, if you're good, you're good. If you're bad, you're bad, like Jesus said. But what is true evil is trying to act like you know it all, right? Sometimes the Jews or the Muslims do, right? Or even the Christians do. And like you're the only right religion. That's another fallacy from Rome. Now, again, Rome took over the church. Constantine put these laws into effect, not the church itself. The church seemed more tolerable of different religions, even Judaism, and allowed them to practice their own religion still, and didn't try to force convert them by murdering them. Jesus said, just wipe the shoes off from your feet. Don't start a war, right, over my teachings, right? Instead, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, pray for those who seek to harm you, right? That's the point. And do good to those who want to do you evil, right? That way, the goodness you're doing in the world will stand out over the evil they're doing in the world too, right? That's the whole point. So I needed to talk about some of that this morning as hypothetical, but real possibility, but not provable yet. Unless I'm recording it or not recording it. Again, they don't know that either until what? The police come for the information. Now, if it's a blackout period, I can't prove it, right? And they'll just think it's my schizophrenia or paranoia, right? So I'm doing that to cover the girl and myself still, not them. Only me and the girl, though, deserve the covering, not them. Because they're aggravating kidnapping the girl, right? And forcing her to commit a crime while kidnapped, and probably threaten her life if she don't do it, right? Which again is what? Endangerment of a child, coercion of a child, forcing the child to do a sex act. Again, me not knowing what's going on, but still having to ask her certain questions when she gets here. Now, she can lie, knowing I'm already good in bed, and say yes to every question. And we have sex too, and she do everything I ask her to do, including shower with me twice, right? Which I know how to prove and disprove that too, right? That's why I'm not telling them everything all at once, that I know what they're doing, right? Till now. Now I'm involving the law of Georgia, hypothetically, too, which each state has different laws, and Georgia has the death penalty for assaulting a disabled veteran who's paranoid schizophrenic and had several head traumas, and you're affecting his behavior during the day too, right? Making him act unusually sexual with an underage girl, but only you and the girl know you're underage, right? Not me, not you. So I'm the last one to know if you were to bring charges against me through the government or something. But to do that, you have to explain how the girl got to 40 Noble Jones Court too. Why Thomas had his cameras off during that time, and what you did to tell him all that, right? So that's still on you more than Thomas too. That's the point, right? He's not knowing why you're doing that, but if he's doing it to a point, he don't know. That's the point too, Thomas. You can't trust strangers telling you to turn off your cameras because we got a sting going on or something, right? They're strangers, man. You can't trust them. You can't trust them. You want to see if he does something or not, right? You can't do that if it's someone over the phone. No one over the phone will include you in an investigation. You got to see the officer face to face, or it's a prank call like they did with the managers of the restaurants like McDonald's or Burger King, whatever, right? Well, someone was prank calling the restaurant owners, getting them to bring the girls into the back room and do a strip search of the girls, right? Well, the thing is, that's illegal in the state to strip search your employees. No one can strip search your employees, idiots. To begin with, right? What the hell are you thinking, right? You're obviously coveting the girl and want to see her naked, right? You're using the person's threat that he's a police officer to validate your fantasy, right? That's what you're doing in reality, right? Now, the law might let you off on a technicality, but in the truth, you know what you're doing is seeing the girl naked, like you probably were fantasizing about her before that too, right? And you wanted to strip search her. That's what they're also proving. You're a creepy manager for the girl to begin with. You want to see her naked. No one can sexually assault or interrogate their employees, period. From Harvey Weinstein to a restaurant owner or manager. And you can't kidnap a girl and force her to sleep with an older man who you know is an older man, and she does it too, right? Though it's on the kidnappers, not the girl too, right? That's how the law really works here. That's why some can be prosecuted and some cannot. I can't be prosecuted because of certain activities that involve me, again, losing my memory and things like that, right? Amnesia. More than twice. At least twice on the record, right? Where I was knocked out over 2 days and over the course of 2 weeks the first time, and the second time, right? Well, that's a long time to be in the hospital and, slowly recuperating from a 3-story fall. But they tell you you'll be bedridden, but you get out of bed anyway, right? You're a badass. You get out of bed after that, right? And you don't want to hurt me any more than I'm already hurt. So you might better just to knock me out and leave me on the house. And again, I'll probably go back into the house, right? And when you see me gone with your cameras, you'll know I'm back awake. Maybe. And you don't have to tell on yourself, but the girl knows. But if you kill the girl during the kidnapping, that's murder, right? Felony murder. And you will fry in the Georgia electric chair. That's all I would tell them hypothetically. If they were to do that to me, right? Just stop them. But none of this is provable because it's just a theory. It don't even mean I recorded it or not. And I can just record a camera with audio, which I got one on the table, and I'll show that to the girl too, right? And that's the point too. That's to protect me and the girl, right? And I also got my watch, and again, I can leave it running while we're in the bedroom, but again, not let her know whether it's really running or not, right? Because, see, it's not important, all that, alright? But what is important is that they're forcing me and her to have sex. Not me and her choosing it willingly. And they're committing the major crimes, not me, right? I'm forced to ask the girl, do you want to have sex with me with or without them kidnapping you, right? And if she says, yes, that's fine, or yes, I do, and she consents that way, I'm trying to consent legally as much as I can. Because if she's between 14 to 16, they can say they didn't know the law, right? And the girl herself. And I can say, well, she had a fake ID, right? That in a way covers assault, right? But again, they would be still the more criminal of the two than me for having the fake ID, you know? And whether it's a Georgia ID or from another state, you know, governments can do all that, right? Right. Fake IDs. But that's why, again, we don't give out our IDs anymore. See, I can't show you my Georgia ID anymore. Now that I'm aware they could be doing that too, right? Now, the military, they might already know, right? That's not a big deal, right? But the girl could have a military card too, right? I don't know. Maybe we need to change those too, right? Now I'm just showing you an old birth certificate, which was dated back to 2008 or something, right? They can change those too, right? That's why I'm not showing you a current birth certificate, but an older one, right? Which is still good for me to get my, IDs myself, like my driver's license or whatever. That don't mean anything. But what does mean something is what, right? If you don't use the current one and, again, try to assume my identity, I'm not dead or anything, right? Or am dead, and they know I'm dead, right? See, they can bait you with me too, right? And vice versa. Me with the girl, right? But you know her, she's underage, and then so does she. And I would tell her, whether you tell me the truth or not, it don't matter, because they kidnapped you, and that's on them. That's their crime, right? Alright, that's the whole point of all this stuff. I'm not trying to be with the girl, nor the girl trying to be with me, and I would get her consent as much as humanly possible in that situation, right? And they could even tell her if I asked a lot, right? And say yes, right? And that's the point too, though, right? But she's still under your care. Because you kidnapped her. Or she's a girl from your country who you, again, are forcing to be with me who's underage, right? So that's, again, breaking international laws. And though still Georgia law applies by the state, international laws still apply too. I know. Now, international laws about sex between minors might be different, right? Say she's an Arab or from Russia. Well, whatever their laws are, they would apply to me too, right? If they have no statutes of limitations and no age restrictions for sex, we gotta abide by their rules, right? They're like a diplomat when they're here, right? They're not really a diplomat, but diplomatic law applies per country too, right? And if they don't have age of consent, yet we do, you can't force them to, right? You can only, deal with each regime, right? Or government or whatever, right? Now, yes, we would like the world to be similar to America in our democracy, but even in a democracy, if it don't play by the rules, can go back, right? You can't become like the Salem witch trials where people start accusing people of capital crimes, like having sex with a minor or things like that, when they don't even remember the encounter, right? And we'll have to record it on the video. Or at least get the audio for the video to prove they did no wrong, right? Even if they don't record the girl, because, again, the more I don't remember her, the safer it is for her, right? The more I do, the worse it is for her. So if I just start the camera alone and get her to go into the bedroom, again, I'm looking out for her, and I'm showing her I really am trying to care for you, and they are forcing us both to do this. Them, not me, right? And if I do her a certain way and she likes it and she don't want to tell on me that way either, I've won, even though they forced us both to be together, right? But that don't prove I was with her or not either. The audio, you can fake sex, right? Things like that, and make sex noise in the bedroom, right? That don't prove we had sex, and we can take 2 showers, her one time and me one time, and she used her fingers to lose her virginity, right? And me masturbate in the shower, and again, that don't prove we had sex either. Things like that. Now, that's just being wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove if that were to happen, right? I'm not trying to be with the girl, but they're forcing the situation by even kidnapping the girl or bringing her over here from their country, right? Illegally. Or legally with a passport, but then give her a fake ID to be with me, right? You see what I mean? Right. If they're doing all that, they're breaking the rules. Not you, not me, right? Nor Malala, nor anyone who was ever with me. Whether she got pregnant by me or not, I don't know. Well, they shot her in the head too, by their rules. But why would they do that unless she was with a foreigner, and they knew she was with a foreigner, right, Malala? They can, in their country, kill the girl, right? But not in ours. But somehow she survived a gunshot wound to the head, right? The beast is more of a male who's wounded with a sword-type injury, not even a blunt force trauma, but a sword, right? Type weapon, right? Now, a sword-type weapon could be, maybe a bullet, but that depends. And it's one strike to the head. I have multiple holes in my head, as I showed you with my x-rays on my old channel. That could mean I was hit in the head with multiple weapons, right? Not one. Similar to a sword. So, again, that's why I'm trying to also cover Malala. Because she, too, wants girls to be educated against terrorism. And why was she with me, too? And they forced her to be with me, then tried to murder her when she got back to Pakistan? Maybe. I don't know. I have amnesia from that too, but she's 18 now. She didn't die when they tried to kill her. And who do you think protected her? Allah and Jesus, right? Working together against the evil terrorists. See, what do you think is going on? Just because you don't think the gods agree, don't mean they don't agree, idiots. Just because you call Allah and Jesus Isa, don't mean they don't know who you mean, right? In your language, right? And see, if they're working together against your terrorism, Allah and Jesus, you're boned, right? You're going to die. And you're not going to get 70 virgins, even if you're bringing me over 70. I might be getting them. But you won't. You'll be a dead man, a disembodied spirit, waiting, maybe, for the resurrection of the dead. But if you don't believe in the resurrection of the dead, a spirit does not have a penis, only a body does. Same is true in heaven. If you have a body, you're alive, right? If you don't, you're dead, right? Even in heaven. Now, the heavenly realm is a different alternative dimension, right? It's not the same as ours. The creatures there are created differently, right? But again, like us, once you exist, you exist. And only natural causes can kill us here. Well, in heaven, they might never die, right? Unless, like I told you before, Satan assaulted Jesus in heaven and earth. Now, like I told you before, when Jesus rested, it means he was in a state of suspended animation, right? He was still here technically, or went back into heaven. Yes, maybe leaving them alone with Satan, but yes, that was part of the temptation too, right? Anyone with someone 24/7 watching you may not sin, which is what Satan will point out. But if someone's watching you 24/7, you're less likely to sin, right? So part of the temptation was to give him at least so much time to see if they would sin with him no more than, say, 120 years, right? After the 7th day began, right? After the 6th before, which, like I told you before, it's really possibly 6,000 years Period. Because it's been a full 6,000 years, and 2 since Jesus came himself. Alright. So a day is both literally in heaven 1,000 years, but also in the earth. But we go through 24-hour cycles of a day. Whereas in heaven, say the spirit itself is the source of life, and it slowly rotates 1,000 years, right? 500 years rotating one way and 500 years rotating the other, right? Not really looking, but just sort of hovering above its throne, right? Like in my dream. And it's just there. It doesn't matter how it rotates or why it's so slow or fast or whatever, right? And it doesn't see in the sense that it's the universal mindset, right, that created everything, right? It don't see as we see, but it knows all. It does, hears all, sees all, and is everywhere. Even though it's an isolated little ball hovering above a throne, right, about the size of a human mind, right, but it's just the synapses that spark within the mind, right. That is your mind, not the brain matter that, surrounds it, but the sparks in your mind and the spark in your heart, which is your fire, your life. That's what it means. If I were to go to Jerusalem with the right female, though of course I want to have a child with her, at least one, before we go. Now if we go, I might have to have, a few females with me, and a male and his female, to confuse them. Whether I have intercourse with them or not is irrelevant, right? But I would try to be with only my true wife, not them anyway. But that's, again, a hypothetical. I'm just waiting for a girl to be with me who I can remember being with too, right? Obviously, whatever they're doing, I'm not remembering the encounter, so to me, in a way, it never happened unless I'm recording it too, which is why I told them the other day, you show me yours and I'll show you mine. That's the point too, alright? So anyway, I just need to talk about this morning. I already got 3 comments at least by BTG, and I'll talk to him later. So y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.